Hey everybody, and welcome to another unboxing. Now in today's unboxing we're going to have a look at a box from Wargames Atlantic, and this is from their Pulp Adventure series. This is the Agents. This is basically another addition to their Pulp Adventure. They actually released the Survivors, and the Survivors female, and then they released the Operator set and Zombies, of course. And these are all part of the Pulp Adventure range. Now what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to show you the contents of this box, and then I'm going to show you the frame, and then I'm going to recommend some games that you can use these figures with. All right, so let's get to it. First off, let's look at the box art. It's pretty standard for Wargames Atlantic. You got some pictures of the figures, and then some art right there, and then some flavor tags at the back with some recommendations on how you want to, like, put together the figures. So you can actually put them together, either mix them up with other sets, or just use the miniatures in this set, which is yeah, great, because you can either use this box on its own or just mix them up. One of the strengths of Wargames Atlantic as a range. All right, so let's have a look inside very quickly. We're gonna have a look, and there are four identical frames. So I'm gonna show you one, and this one is pretty much all of them because they're all the same, right? First off, everybody looks at the heads, because the heads are what makes this set in most Wargames Atlantic frames like really collectible and stuff like that. Why? Because in this one you have heads with glasses. They all have glasses, right? Which is interesting that they chose to go this way. They all have glasses, right? So if you were to build a set with just these heads, you're gonna get a lot of like government or private operators with want to be incognito, or who want to be not known. There are also different kinds of facial structures. You've got your Caucasians, and you've got your African Americans, or your African bone structures to work with. Strange though, there are no Asians in this one, but maybe in the next set, Agents 2 or something. Now in this set you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bodies per set, which basically 524. Oh, sorry, 6. 1, 2. I keep doing this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 times 4 is 24. Yeah, so you get 6 bodies per frame, and if you look at the bodies, you get some bodies which more masculine, and then some bodies which are a little bit more feminine. Let me see if I can find a feminine one for you. Which is good. Now usually what they would do is they would separate this into 2 separate boxes, like they did with the Survivors, right? But I'm sure there's a reason they put them both together. Yeah. You also have an assortment of weapons that you can use. Most of these, there are lots of assault weapons that you can choose from. And then you have things like briefcase, suitcases, attaché cases, and stuff like that. You got like small arms, and you have arms that are open and free. Some which you can actually pose. I've seen some folks use arms to pose as if they're listening to their earpiece. Where is it? It must be, I think, one of these. I think you can use for that. So this is pretty much one of those sets where they're pretty much done a look, right? So it's just now which options you want to go for that look. So in that sense, this set is pretty limited. If they had more things that you could put on, like more suitcases, perhaps, a handphone, or something like that, which I think there's one in there, if I'm not mistaken. I had a look just now. But so so yeah, so basically you got a limited amount of like looks that you can have. But the strength of this one is if you add it or mix it with the other sets, right? So you can actually have the different bodies with different heads, right? So you can actually have if you put the zombie heads on the bodies, and you have zombie corporate folk, which is pretty much most corporate folk. Or you can use the survivor ones and the one with the cowboy hat. You can use that one, or you can use the ones the heads from the female survivor set, and you can actually make yourself a Scully to your Mulder, right? Even then, using the head from the male survivor set, because Mulder and Scully from X-Files, never really walked around with dark glasses, and all of the heads they have dark glasses, which is interesting. Yeah. So yeah, it's a good frame. You've got 24 of these that you can mix around with, but if you were to put this with the rest, your bits box will be filled with options, and you can go to town with this. But who is this for? What can we use this for? And that's the most important thing. Having miniatures are nice, but what can we play them with? So let's see if I give you some recommendations. All right, so the first game you can use these miniatures with is Conspiracy X, which makes sense because this is the closest one to the X-Files TV series, where you got people in suits, government folk doing running missions and stuff like that. So what it is basically a conspiracy based paranormal investigation game, right? And it uses the uni system, which is basically a point buy system where you use points to buy your attributes, and then you add all attributes, and then you roll a dice, a d10, to see whether you succeed or not. So yeah, game number one is Conspiracy X. You can use these figures for that. It'll fit most perfectly for this particular game. Next up, we have Delta Green. Now, what is Delta Green? Delta Green is pretty much a modern RPG about clandestine government operatives fighting cosmic horrors hidden from public view. It is basically a modern Cthulhu, if you ask me. It's the whole mythos thing happening. The cool thing about this is you can either play using like special operatives, which is the other box that Wargames Atlantic has released, or you can use this one over here where it's you've got folks in suits doing missions, and the look is taken strictly as special government liaison kind of thing. The Delta Green game is powered by the Apocalypse engine, which is basically it's basically a game that focuses on risk versus sanity consequences and stuff like that. The good thing about Delta Green, it's got high tension, it's got a bureaucratic guilt, and it's got covert missions, which is why suited agents, are just natural in this game. The next game that you can use this game for is called Knights of Black Agents. What it is, now this is a spy thriller game meets vampire horror. So players are former intelligent operatives uncovering a vampiric conspiracy, and this follows this uses the gumshoe system, which emphasizes investigation and clue gathering and stuff like that. The good thing about using Knights Black Agents is it plays a bit like a noir spy thriller. So it's got suits, briefcases, and stuff like that. The agents box, the miniatures that you can make with the agents box totally fits into this game. So you can use it here as well. Next up, we have the Trail of Cthulhu. This is basically pretty much the classic cosmic horror investigation RPGs. It's set in the Lovecraftian mythos. It also uses the gumshoe system, but it's built more for clue focused play, right? It's ideal. It's ideal for urban investigations, government scholars, and stuff like that. So the whole suit tie, thing works, right, for this game. Also, you can actually use these figures for, Shadowrun, which is basically a modern, cyberpunk game. It's basically it's a cyberpunk RPG. It's got magic and megacore and shadowy operatives and stuff like that. It uses a D6 pool system, so it's you can actually use the miniatures here, you know, the ones with the suits and stuff like that, and you can actually like you know, change the heads and stuff like put maybe an orc's head or whatever it is onto the figures, which is kind of cool. Actually, it's kind of cool if you're like into kit bashing and stuff like that. Finally, we have Urban Shadows, and what it is basically a political urban fantasy where factions vie for control of a city's soul. So yeah, you can actually use folks in like suits as your play figures. It's powered by the apocalypse system. So it's basically a narrative, and it's you know, it's factional. It's a narrative system, right? They like I said, the selling point again is, you know, the look, right? And because they're all agents in suits and stuff like that, it fits the theme perfectly. Of course, there's also Majestic 13 that you can use this for, and a lot of folks online are using this for Majestic 13. So this is the other game that you can try, or you can try and have a look and see whether you want to use these figures with. All right, so who is this miniature set for? First off, I can simply say that this is for the RPG crowd. I don't see that many tabletop war games using these figures. There are a few, of course, but not that many. And the amount you get here is great for customizing your PC, for your RPG. Unless, of course, you want to play maybe Hordes of the Things and you want to have, you know, a whole regiment of suited government operatives. Chances of using all the figures at the same time is kind of minimal, actually, if you ask me. These figures can be used for NPC or PC, and I must say that this set, the Wargames Atlantic Agents set, goes well with any of the other Wargames Atlantic set. So now you have a situation where you can actually, you know, swap heads, and you can have the different heads, different miniatures, right? Miniature sets. So yeah, the box is pretty much a piece or tool for your tool set or your kit bash set. It is definitely one of those things that you want to have if you're running any of the modern games. Having the right figure is important for the right game. Most RPGs I know scurry the web in people's collections to find that one figure that totally represents them. Boxes like this from Wargames Atlantic help you customize the figure just right for your character. Now there's a big thing with having figures that match, you know, the player or the NPC or the monster. Take this example, for instance. As they entered the dungeon, Sir Eldric the warrior felt his grip tighten on his sword. Behind him walked Marianne, the magic user, her staff held close. Moving ahead in the shadows was Thorn, the ranger, leading them into the ruins. Last came Silas the thief, light on his feet and watching everything. Then a soft hiss echoed through the chamber. The Medusa had been waiting. The box is not bad at all, actually. It's got a lot of bits, and it's great for the kit basher. It works better if you combine the set with all the other sets from the Pulp Adventure series, and you like I said, you'd have a whole lot of options to use and mix and match. Probably having one of those figures that's totally unique to you. So that's pretty much it. Hope you enjoyed the unboxing. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and as always, don't forget to enjoy painting those figures.